The Superlight front wheel by squishing my tyre. Today we're going to show you how to remove and reinstall the Brompton front wheel. There are basically two types of Brompton front wheel. The Superlight front wheel, which uses a bolt-through axle, which is the same system as the dynamo wheels, or a standard wheel that uses a nut to hold it in place. You may need to change your front wheel if you have a puncture or if you're changing wheels for the different seasons, like for winter. We have all of the tools that we need to change our front wheel in the Brompton toolkit. In preparation for winter, I'm going to change my front wheel to a dynamo front wheel. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove my standard front wheel. I'm going to let the air out of the front tyre. This will allow us to fit the tyre through the brakes without loosening the brakes in any way. Next, I'm going to undo the nut. Using a 15mm spanner. I'm then going to take off the washers and keep them in the order that I take them off in. I'm then going to undo the other side. Remembering the order that they go on, which is the nut, washer, then the hook, and then the tab washer. I'm then going to remove my front wheel by squishing my tyre so that he fits between the brake calipers. As I'm going to store my front wheel for winter, I'm going to put the washer and the nut back on the wheel so that I don't lose them. But I'm going to keep the tab washers for use on my dynamo front wheel. To remove the dynamo front wheel, we're going to use a 4mm Allen key. The Brompton itself makes quite a good stand for removing the front wheel. The first step of removing any of the Brompton front wheels, unless of course you have a flat tyre, is to let the air out of the tyre. The valve caps are designed to help you take the air out of your tyre. The reason we let the air out of the tyre is to enable the tyre to squeeze between the brake pads. I'm going to undo my bolt-through axle using the 4mm Allen key in an anti-clockwise direction, so lefty-loosey. When it's loose enough to undo by fingers, I'm going to carry on by hand. On this one, there's only one washer. On the other side of the axle, we're going to take off the nut, then we're going to carefully remove the axle bolt, which then releases the hook. Then we're going to remove the tab washer. Before we try and take out the front wheel, we're going to remove the dynamo tab. Then I can simply slide the wheel out, leaving the Brompton as a stand. We're going to reinstall our standard front tyre by squeezing the tyre to get it through the brake calipers and then popping the axle in the forks. Next, we're going to install the tab washer, followed by the standard washer, followed by the nut. Then we're going to move to the other side. First of all, we're going to put the tab washer in the hole and the forks. Then we're going to sit the hook on the tab washer, followed by the washer and then the nut. And now we're going to do the nuts up to 15 Newton meters. Now we're going to reinstall the front wheel. We're going to lift the bike up, squeeze the tyre to get it through the brake pads, and then position the wheel in the forks. I'm going to move the tab on the dynamo to 90-degree angle for the forks, so the connector can pop onto the dynamo tab. We're going to position the tab washer in the hole in the forks and then put the tab washer over the axle. The hole in the forks keeps the tab washer in place and stops it from twisting. We are then going to put the bolt through axle in position. We're then going to position the tab washer over the hole in the forks and over the axle, and then put the hook in place. Making sure it's all positioned correctly, we're going to put the nut onto the bolt through axle. We're then going to tighten using the 4mm Allen key to 8 Newton meters. The final step is to inflate the tyre and make sure that it's moving freely. If you like this video, please give us the thumbs up. If you want to see more of our videos, please subscribe. Have we missed anything, or is there anything you'd like us to do? Please comment in the comments section below. There are basically two types of wheels for your front. Then going to put the bolt through axle in position. We're then going to move to the other side with our cameraman. We didn't think we'd show you how to remove and reinstall a Superlight front wheel, because it uses the same system with the bolt through axle as the dynamo wheel, but I can't do it with 2 hands.